Good morning, everybody. It's Chris van der Kerk here at Bluerhino Safaris. First of all, Happy New Year to everybody. I trust this is going to be a better one than last year. It really is one of those Homo sapien things. We want things to be better tomorrow than it was today. So I really hope in your case that things are better tomorrow than it was today, and that this year brings a lot of good things for you. Now, in 2024, we're going to have these same wishes, and then we are going to be excited about something new on my calendar. We are going to look at Morocco. Now, I've always wanted to do Morocco driving there, but then you drive through West Africa, Nigeria, through those areas, and to me, it's just a little bit too dangerous to take a group through. If I was alone, I would try it, but I'm not alone. I'm taking guests through, and I'm not prepared to risk that. And then I realized that I'm not going to get to Morocco because I don't know if these West African things are going to be resolved in my lifetime or in my working career. So I started looking at going to Morocco and maybe doing a trip up there. So I did the research, and then last year, August, I said to Matty, let's go up there. I want to have a look at it and see if I can bring people up to Morocco or not. Is it a destination? Is it worth it? Let's go and have a look. So over Christmas and New Year, we went up to Morocco, and we basically recce'd the whole route. So what did I decide as a structure for this route on ultimately? And that is motorhomes. Now, Europeans travel into Morocco a lot. They go over the Strait of Gibraltar. They just ferry their vehicles over, and then they are in Morocco for however long they want to be there. So Morocco is set up as a motorhome destination. Now, if you drive around there over Christmas, New Year, it's motorhomes everywhere. Like we see 4x4s in South Africa, you see motorhomes in Morocco. So motorhomes is a big thing in Morocco. They're all set up to handle motorhomes. There's lots of little campsites around that you can use. And the motorhomes make it easy because you have your heated motorhome. It's got central heating in it, it's got air conditioning in it, it's got its own toilet in it, a chemical toilet, it's got a hot shower in it, it's got everything. Fridge, cooking, kitchen, everything is there. So Morocco really is set up for motorhoming. So this trip is not going to be a 4x4 trip. It's going to be a tar road trip with motorhomes, which means we are picking the best roads that we can to see the areas that we can see. But I still want to see what I wanted to see if I would have driven up there. Now, what makes Morocco such a unique place is you have the influence of the Portuguese in the 1500s versus the Romans 3,000 years ago versus the Arabs a lot later and the French. So you have all these influences in Morocco. And I'm trying to do a tour where I can show the different influences. We can look at the different geographical hotspots. Morocco is well documented as far as pictures go. So I'm going to do a second video, which is just a bit of feedback on the trip that I just did. And this video is specifically about the route that we are going to do and how it's going to work and what's going to happen around our trip to Morocco. So you don't need the 4x4. You only need a driver's license. If you have a driver's license, you're welcome to join me. I'm only going to take a maximum of 10 people. 5 motorhomes plus mine. That's it. I don't want to make the group too big. They have groups up to 15 motorhomes at a time traveling through there. I don't want to do that. I want to keep it a little bit more intimate. I'm going to give you a two-way radio, and we'll have radio communication through the whole trip. So if we stand in a park and you're camping that side, I'm camping this side, the radios are always on. If you need me, you just call me. I can pop around. If you want to have a chat about tomorrow, we can pop around. We can have a bit of a braai. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I just did it, and I'm excited to do an extended version of what I just did. So let's quickly have a look at the route itself. It's on the website. So if you go through to the 2024 tours on my website, I just started working on it. So you'll see Motorhome Morocco is up there. It's very blue. The colors, of course, in Morocco is very much pastel-like colors. The pinks, the reds, the oranges, and the blues. And the detail all on there. Our first night in Marrakesh, 19 February 2024. It's just before Ramadan. I'm trying to get out of Morocco 2 days before Ramadan. just so that we are not impeded in where we can eat and what we can't eat. And I don't want to interfere in the country's Ramadan. It's their time, and I don't want to tourist around in their time. It's 19 nights, 20 days. Accommodation for most of it is luxury motorhome. You do your own food, your own fuel, your own toll, and that's basically it. The cost per person sharing, 43,500. Now this includes all your accommodation in Morocco for 20 days, 19 nights. That's 2 nights in a hotel, bed and breakfast. Good hotel close to the city. We can visit Marrakesh from there. And then the rest of the nights, the other 17, is in this luxury motorhome. So the cost of the motorhome is already included in that. The cost of the hotel is included in that. Your camping fees for the whole trip is included in that. It's all there. The only thing you need to add is your fuel, which is not much. We're only doing 2,500 Ks, so it's about 6,000 Rand, I think it is. And then your flight to and from Marrakesh. And I see on Qatar, they're going for about 12,500 Rand at the moment. So I expect to pay, let's say, 13,000, 14,000, depending on when you book your tickets, how well in advance you do that. So yeah, that cost is the cost that you pay to me, and it covers all your expenses on the trip. It includes 3 or 4 visits to attractions. Volubilis, which is the Roman city that we'll visit near Meknes, it includes that. It will include maybe a palace or something in Marrakesh, and then 1 or 2 spots that we can enter. It's normally about 70 dirhams or something like that, 100 Rand. And I've got 3 or 4 in there for possible visits to things that we need to pay for. So your accommodation is all in there, your motorhome rental is all in there, the hotels are all in there. You just need to add food, which costs the same as in South Africa, roughly speaking, and then your flights to get there. So it's easy. It's not going to be a difficult one. So maximum 10 people. If you click on it, you can go to read more, and that is where I have the map and everything of our trip. So this temple that you see, the mosque that you see is the Hassan II mosque, built in 1996, 1990s, late 1990s. And this tower is 10 stories higher than the Carlton Center in Johannesburg. It is the highest. If it was built in Johannesburg, it would be the highest building in Johannesburg, except for the towers, Telkom and the other one. In South Africa, it would have been the highest building in South Africa, except for radio and television towers. 60 stories high. It's an incredible place to see. And to see the pictures of it doesn't do any justice to it. You have to stand there to see it. There's a few pictures on it, and I just wanted to chat about the route and the itinerary. So as I said, we meet in Marrakesh. Flights in and out of Marrakesh are daily, so that's not too much of a problem. And then the first 2 nights in the hotel. So you arrive on the first day, check into the hotel, relax a little bit, get some sleep, make sure that you're fresh and sorted. The second day, between the 2 nights in the hotel, we go into the Medina in Marrakesh, look around, have some street food, do the normal Medina things that you would do in Morocco, do some shopping if you want some shopping, and then the second night in the hotel. After breakfast, we check out of the hotel and we go over to the camping site where all our campers will be, and we check into the campsite to get our campers. Now from that point, you've signed for your camper, it's yours, you can go into town if you want to with it. Otherwise, leave it there. We check it out, make sure everything is working like it should, sort out any little problems that we have if we have any, and then we do our grocery shopping. So go to supermarket, get the groceries that we need, a few beers, a bottle of wine, bread, cheese, cold meats, some vegetables. They have very good food in Morocco. You won't have any problems with food. And we stock up our motorhomes and we sleep the night in Marrakesh in the motorhome. The next morning, first thing, we head over the Atlas Mountains, lovely road to travel, and we go through to Ait Ben Adou. If you watch Game of Thrones, there's a place, or a spot where Khaleesi looks at a city and they have these massive gates. This is the picture of it. And that is the spot that we'll visit. We'll be there for about 2 hours. If you want to go in, you can walk in, have a look around. If you just want to sit in the camper, have a coffee or do something like that, then you are in your kitchen already. You can just boil a kettle, have a coffee while the other guys are doing their thing. So we'll go to Uitbenadu, we'll visit there, and then from there we'll go to our campsite for the night. Then the next day we travel towards Mazuka, but we're not going straight there. We're going to spend one night on the way, and we're going to visit the Valley of Roses. We're driving through it. We'll see if we stop or not. The Valley of Roses season is in May, but we're a little bit early for it. But we're driving through the Valley of Roses, the Valley of Dates. We'll visit the different gorges, the Todra Gorge, all those nice places in the Atlas Mountains, and then sleep there for the night. Then on to Merzouga for 2 nights. Merzouga is the tip of the Sahara Desert in the northern area. Very famous amongst tourists. They've got camel rides, they've got 4x4 rides, they've got buggies into the dunes, they've got all kinds of things. Expect to arrive there in the afternoon at about 2, and you have the afternoon to plan what you want to do, and then the next day we are there. You can chill for the day, you can walk up a dune, you can do whatever you want to do. As a desert destination, I still think I prefer the Namib. The Skeleton Coast is, to me, still a much more pure desert experience than this, because it's very touristy. But it is the Sahara Desert, and you are there, and there's camels and people and Berbers and everything happening around there. So we are 2 nights in Merzouga. Then we travel back across the Atlas Mountains. Lovely roads. And ultimately arriving close to Meknes for a camp for the night. And then the next day we visit Volubilis. It's an old Roman city, or Roman outpost actually. And it's just splendid to visit and touch things and see things that are 2,500-3,000 years old. It's incredible to see. We visit Volubilis, and then from there we go around to Fez. Fez we're going to sleep for 2 nights. The Medina in Fez is a World Heritage Site. It's got the oldest tannery in Morocco is in Fez. So the day between the 2 nights we'll visit the Medina and whatever is around there to visit as tourists. The day thereafter we head up to Chefchaouen. Chefchaouen, known as the Blue City. Everything there is blue. The picture on the front of this advertisement was also blue. That comes from the city. It's stunning. To walk through there, to see it, to experience it, is miles apart from seeing a picture on the internet. I saw all of these things before we went, but to stand there and just be there was incredible. Nice fresh bread, good butchery, nice bakeries. You have food to eat, you have stuff to do. 2 nights in Chefchaouen. We'll arrive early, so you can do the market in the afternoon and take the next day off, or you can take the afternoon off and go into town for the next day, walk around and do your thing. Then the next night, or the next day, we start heading towards the Atlantic Ocean. We enter Scylla maybe. It all depends on that night, and that night I'm not going to keep fixed, because if we spend a bit more time in the desert area, or we have a problem or a puncture or a breakdown, then we just need a night in the middle to catch up with our plan. So I'm going to leave that night open. So it will be, general direction would be Casablanca. Casablanca we're going to sleep for 2 nights. Casablanca means white castle, white city. Even in Arab, in Berber, it's referred to a white city, and that's where we will spend 2 nights. So good seafood restaurant in Mohammedimia that we'll visit, and then we will visit Hassan II Mosque. It closes and opens at certain times, so we'll make sure that we catch it when it's open, and we can visit the Hassan II Mosque. Incredible experience, something unbelievable. From Casablanca, we drive down further with the Atlantic coast, to Agadir, basically. And then you've seen the pictures with the arches, the ocean arches. There's a few small cities, Isoria, which is an old Portuguese city. And we're going to visit two of these places and just basically finish our trip in Morocco with a few coastal evenings. Not many, just 3 or so, and we will be down in Agadir for our last night. Then once we're done there, we travel back to Marrakesh and sleep our last night in our motorhome in the campsite in Marrakesh where we started. We can leave everything there the next day, check out of the motorhomes. If you left something there that you purchased, you pick that up, and then the day after that, you basically head for the airport. If you're flying back to South Africa, then that's cool. You can just catch a flight out of Marrakesh via Doha, I think is about the cheapest way to do it, to come back to South Africa. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is something that I just did now in December, is to add a European city on my trip. From Marrakesh to Paris is a 3-hour and 15-minute flight, and it is easy to get into Paris for a few days, get into Amsterdam for a few days, to Madrid, to Barcelona. Wherever you want to go from there is a fairly short flight to do Europe. So if you haven't done Europe before, or there's a city that's outstanding, then maybe a good time to just link this trip with a little bit of a European trip. 3-4 days in Paris is great, and it's not going to cost you that much. I think we got tickets for 3,000 Rand per person, round trip, Marrakesh, Paris. And then it's a few nights in a hotel and do whatever you want to do. So this trip is going to be awesome. I'm going to take a maximum of 10 people. If you want to go and you can commit, then it has to happen by the end of January. I've already booked the motorhomes. I've already got everything in place, and I want to get moving on it because we've secured prices already. It's not bound to the euro. The prices are already fixed, and if I pay it by the end of the month, then we make use of the prices quoted to me. So if you can commit and you're ready to go, then please book very urgently. I'm not going to make space for more people. I can't. It will be 5 vehicles maximum. You can fit a third person into the vehicle. The vehicles are 4-berth vehicles with a double bed and or 2 double beds in it, or double and a 3/4. So you can fit a third person, but I'm not going to take any children on this. No beyond below 18s. It's a little bit too far from home to take children along. But if you have a friend or you 3 friends traveling together, then there is a possibility to bring the third person. You can tell me if that. So people, I'm not going to be worried about too much. But the vehicles, I'm only going to take 5 plus mine. So if you can commit, please let me know. I'll send you a quotation. You pay your deposit, and you commit for the trip. If you want to go, but you're not sure if you can commit yet, please let me know. What I do is I build a second list of people interested in the trip. And if I get a cancellation or something happens to the first group, then I have the backup on the second group to offer it and say, well, I've got a gap here. If you want to go, you can go. Or if I short a person, I can go through the list in 3 months and say, are you still interested? You know, we can still do this. Otherwise, if you're on that second list, when I do another trip, I'll give you a first bite at the other trip, going out in 25 or whatever. So this trip has already been recce. This is not a recce trip. I've done this. I just did the motorhome thing in Morocco. I did this route. So it's really an excellent route. A lot of fun. Send me an email, phone me, WhatsApp me, ask me a few questions if you want to. I'm not going to divulge too much info on the route. I have spent a lot of money to research it and drive it and see if it's drivable and how long it takes to get where and where to sleep. So there's already a significant amount of work that I have put into this. So I'm not going to divulge too much on campsites and the different roads that we are going to take to get where we want to go. That is a little bit of my information. Excuse me. But you're welcome to ask me other questions. And if you have suggestions, something that you would like to see that you don't see on this trip, let me know, and I will see how we can accommodate it. We are sort of flexible. We can move a little bit because our days are fairly short, and we have a little bit of time to work something in if we have to. What I'm not going to focus on is the top section. The Mediterranean section is very Mediterranean. So if you go to Portugal, you go to Spain, you go to Greece, it's very much similar. So I don't want to do something that you can repeat in another city. I want to do the unique stuff to Morocco, and that is the top section basically cut off. So we're doing the desert, the olive area up to Chefchaouen, and then down to Casablanca. We're skipping the Tangiers and that top, right at the top section. It's pointless circling into a city with a motorhome just to see the sea. Rock of Gibraltar is on the other side, so you can't see that even, so it's sort of pointless. So yeah, I'm not going to do that top section. And that's it. If you want to stretch your trip, you can just book your motorhome longer and come back later. If you want to shrink your trip a little bit, then you can. Our deal for motorhomes are for minimum 15 nights, and that's what we have. We have 17 nights in the motorhome, so it's all good. If you want to go, let me know urgently. I'm only taking a maximum of 5 vehicles, plus mine. Have a great day. Have a great week. Enjoy the sunshine. Cheers.